Hey everybody, welcome back. We're up here today. It's Sunday morning, mid-morning. We're up here with the old 1987 E350 Corsair camper we bought a while back. Gonna see if we can determine, got some stop juice there leaking out of her. We're gonna see if we can determine where that's coming from. So hope y'all are having a good day and whatnot, enjoying it. Anywho, we got some made some videos coming up here soon to post here. Might start working on a couple of these derelicts I got sitting around. You know, there's an enduro coming up. Not sure if we're gonna run it or what we're gonna do, but thinking about it. Just gotta have the time, man. The feller's not getting any younger here, I can tell you that. All right, so let's see what we're working on today. 1 second. So anyways, as I said, this is what we're going to be diagnosing the brake fluid leak on today if we can. 1987 Ford E350 Corsair. Big old 460 in her. Picked this up a couple years ago. Took her out, used her, done the deal. Had a gay old time. Not in bad shape for the year. Needs a bit of a clean up here. She's been sitting for a couple of years after COVID and whatnot. But anywho, we're gonna get at her here and see what we can do. We'll bring you back in just a minute. Anyways, here we go. We're back here. Master cylinder's got a little bit of stop juice in her, so we're gonna put some in her. Get Junior in there, pumping the pedal. We'll slide in there underneath there. Drink up, little buddy. We'll give you a little hint here. When you're filling your master cylinder, or say your clutch reservoir or something like that, if it's tipped downhill, the only way you can bleed the system properly is, despite what the like how the vehicle's sitting, you need to level the master cylinder. So if it's running downhill, obviously you got to think of like a level that you would use on wood or something like that. You got to jack the front end up. Well, if the front end's sitting uphill, then obviously you got to jack your arse end up so you can level it up. You always want to try to get the master cylinder as level as possible so you can get the air of the system. Now you may think I'm crazy, but you know, I ran into this once on a 96 Ford truck where the slave cylinder for the clutch was tipped uphill in the front end. Well, lo and behold, you could bleed the clutch all day long, and it seemed like it had no air in it. Let her down on the ground and pump the pedal. After about 20 minutes or so, you'd end up with the pedal wanting to go down to the floor and stay there. Long story short, you could condemn a lot of stuff, but I jacked her up level and bled her out again, and bam, Bob was your uncle. Now that was quite a deal, but trust me, you want to make sure that you listen to what I just told you there and make sure you don't get victimized by it, because you can change absolutely everything. And if you don't make sure that it's level, well, you just might be replacing stuff 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 28 times for the sake of leveling the cylinder. So please, make sure it's always level. Anywho, we're going to go under here and see what we can figure out. Fellas getting too old for this stuff, so Like I said, 1987, 118,000 on her. Not in all that bad a shape when you stop and think about her. That brake line's pretty darn decent. So we got some fluid wetness over here. But it is a Ford, bear in mind, so probably has more oil leaks and Carter has liver pills. So anywho, go ahead, Braden, pump her up slowly. See if we can determine where she's coming from.
Right here.
Hold on.
Found it.
I knew it was in. Oh, it's spraying right up against the wheel there. Check that out, folks. See that glistening up in there? Let's see if we zoom her in. Debbie, you know we found her already, eh? She's going right there, so we'll bring her in here. Oh, well, what do we have here? Okay, lay your foot off the brake. It is now. Okay, well, what we're dealing with here is the brake line right by the flex hose. So I think the smartest thing would be to do is run my hand here and see where the hell that goes. Anyhow, I think this time we're going to take a brief pause for the cause. We're going to go get a jack and see if we can jack this up and get this front wheel off, get her head in there, and scan our peepers on where the brake fluid leak is coming from. So these lines don't look too bad. They got a spring on them there, so when they bend them in the factory, they don't collapse. But you never know. I mean, a lot of you fellers may realize, or fellas, so when you go to cut that line, you pull that spring off, unwind her all out of there. Well, the brake line in underneath of her is nice and shiny. Rule of thumb, you can scrape her with a jackknife blade and still see some shine. She's probably still good to roll. So anywho, we probably got a stone chip in this. Once again, you can see she's dripping there, so we're gonna take a turkey baster and suck some fluid out of here, get her to stop bleeding. We'll bring you back to her. 1 sec. So we're gonna go ahead. We got her jacked up here. We're gonna take the wheel off. See if we can figure out what line's leaking, where and why. Of the three that looks to be together up here. Yes, I did go ahead and previously loosen the wheel with the impact gun before coming into recording, because I didn't think you wanted to listen to her ugga-dugga, so, you know, anywho. Still got some good meat on those. A little weather check, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm a little weather check too. Now, I went ahead and put a jack stand in under. Safety first. So, go ahead and give her a little touch here, see if we can get some PB blaster on her there. Stuff's available at your local part source store there, Napa. I don't care what anybody says. The PB blaster seems to be all they have right now, but I like the going to Napa and seeing about the old Lloyd's Move It. That stuff right there, that's the cat's meow. So, 1987. Probably never had the bleeder out of it before today, so, you know, we're going to see what happens here. Would you look at that? Now, a lot of this might be scripted. for people, but bear in mind, folks, I'm up here in Canada where, you know, the old CANADA is Stompin' Tom would say, so rust is definitely a thing, but, you know, it's been said before and it'll probably be said again, in rust we trust. So we'll get her done. Just want to pull the bleeder out, check it all out. You always want to get yourself a good old catch basin here because nobody wants to let her go right on the ground. So she's nice and free, flowing like Niagara. We'll thread that back in, save the fluid as much as we can. Mikey, would you stop walking around? He's got his flip-flops on. There's a little, you know, irritating shoes. But anyhow, we got a line up in here like we showed you in the previous section there. She's a leaking away. Got 3 here, so we wiggle this one. I see that one in there moving. We wiggle this one, and I see this one moving. And I leave that one. Last but not least, I know you can't see here, but you know, because Junior's backed up a bit, but most of you probably are after last night anyways, having a few cold snacks, so you know all about backed up. You hear the odd voices. There are some guys next door at the old no-tell motel there doing the deal. So, like I said, it's the first time we use this in the better part of about 3 or 4 years, thanks to COVID. So, you know, we got some rust buildup here on the rotors. I did fire her up earlier. You know, what, week and a half ago, and moved her around the yard a bit. And what little bit of pedal was there, we drugged the brakes and tried to clean them up a little bit. But as we proceed here, we're gonna take the calipers off, knock the pins out of them, clean everything up, free her back up. You know, I initially bought and sold this from one customer to another, and it was probably 7 or 8 years ago that I did all the brakes on this, on all the wheels, and I did 6 new tires, and it went from Kingston, Ontario, Canada, down to Daytona Beach, Florida, and I spent the winter down there, and then it came back, and then I went down to Nova Scotia, and it spent some time down there, and then it came home, and the customer parked it. He talked about the possibility of getting rid of it, and I approached him. We came to a deal, so I ended up buying the old scow from him. Of course, you know, hell of a guy there Tom was, and is. So I went to drive her home, and he says, you know what, she's plated, she's insured, you got her fired up. He said, why don't you take it out and use it for the weekend? So the wife and kids and I, we all jumped in her and went out to the campground there and had a gay old time in it. Everything works as far as I know. You know, a couple lights out here and there, but I bought all them new LEDs there, those LED lights there, so we're going to swap them out so we can run more of them, and, you know, not have the draw and whatnot, because, you know, some campgrounds, they take great pride in doing, you know, the first light of the night deal, and, you know, if we get out there, we're going to try and do the same. So anywho, I'm going to shut up here, and, you know, we're going to get back to seeing if we can get the brake line isolated here to exactly which one. And we're going to maybe cut out of here and see if we can get her back together there. Maybe get some brake, you know, stoppage going on here. Because it would be nice to be able to get the hell out of town and go use the old girl and stretch her legs and feed her the onions. I'll tell you, I've had her wound up to 140. kilometers that is. And thing just, pass everything but a gas station. Big old 460, like I said. 3-speed. Wish I could find a AXOD, but probably not going to happen anytime soon, because it would be nice to have that one extra gear, so I could maybe get 145 out of it before it decides to, nose over and be flat out. Anywho, might make her a little easier on the MPGs, but all right, we'll get back to you here in a little bit. We'll take a brief pause for the cause. Thank you. Hey, welcome back. So, turn around and just want to show you something here. When you cut off lines with side cutters, they should be shiny like that. And see the rest of the line? Well, there's where a hole was. I don't know how well you can see how thin the tubing is and rust hole. So anyways, we'll put that up there. We don't want to lose it, have it stuck in the ground. But like I was telling you there earlier, this brake line looks pretty crappy, but I cut her off there because we're gonna, move her out there in a little easier location. But I just wanted to show you something. As you start tearing this stuff off, just how the line looks. Bear in mind, I told you this stuff, the spring style wrap was put on there so they could bend the lines wherever they see fit in the factory, and it keeps them from collapsing. A lot of times this day and age, you get a line where it's only on there so long, well, you just kind of start at one end and work your way doing your proper bends, pulling it along, using it where it's needed to be. Maybe on a big corner like this, you might leave a little bit there. Sometimes if you're good with a Dremel, you can trim that and move it out where you need to be. Anyways, moral of the story is, an attempt to show you here what the line looks like. And, you may not necessarily need to run absolutely every one of them, but here we go. I don't know, some of you old timers watching this, you may recall that you might have had these different styles of spring type affairs in there for your lines that, you could slide over a piece of straight run, because this day and age, you can buy the rolls through Papco and stuff like that, 25-foot roll. You got armored, non-armored, copper coated, copper core, whatever you want to call it. I don't really like using that stuff because I think it's soft. It bends really nice and, whatnot, but like I said, I think it's too soft. I believe it should be good old line, from the yesteryear, because you know what? Like I said, this is an 87. It isn't, had the same lines on it since new, because they're, they did junk back then. I mean, they sold junk. Obviously it's Ford. But anywho, just want to show you, that's where the line was broke right there. You can see that pinhole there. You move it around, the brake fluid comes out. There's a little nick right there. Anywho, but you go, inch away, start peeling back the braiding, or the wrap here, sorry. Look at that line. Nothing wrong with her. Moving forward, go up here. Now we're cutting her out so we can get a ways away. Anywho, like I told you, they all look crusty, but when you look at it and somebody takes the time to actually show you, well, proof's in the pudding. Of course, Chevy just, she just released some tailpipe emissions there. Not sure if you heard that, but, what do you think, Tootsie Bear? Did you just toot? Eh? Just tooting your bum? Just toot? Such a good girl. Make you proud. Oh yes, make you proud.
You need a shovel, don't you?
So, you see here, you can get this line off. Kind of need a shallow socket, but anywho, Got Mikey running up to grab one there. I might fool him. What's the matter, Touch? Oh, you can't see? Oh, I see. Alright, well, we're going to take a second here and deal with Chevy. You know, she's might be getting a little bit hungry. Eh? Of course, you see the size of her lately. You know, eating's one of her favorite pastimes. Don't make her a bad kid, but Jesus. Chevy, I think you drink as much milk as this RV does gas. What, are you having a race? Just took this little clip off here. We're gonna wiggle her back and forth here. There we go. We'll just pull the flex hose right out, get her out here in the open. And here there's a flare, double lap. So we're gonna see if we can't get this out before Mikey comes back. Really make him regret his actions there. Get the right size on her, might be doing something. Okay, Touch. Oh, I see what's wrong. I see what's wrong with Chevy. Uncle's in front of you and you can't see Papa. That's what it is. That's okay, Chevy. Hi. I can see you. Can you see me? That's right. There you go, folks. 1987. What's up? You can hold on to that. I don't really need it now. I just exercised a little bit of GK here. GK, you're wondering what the heck I mean by that? General knowledge. Oh yeah, great. Drop the fitting, why don't you? So, you just stick that over there to keep the dirt out of it. And them damn mud wasps coming along building hive. Anyways, flare nuts out. Even after all that, whatever there. Truck driving past out, Phantom 309, mother effer. Keep the noise down. We're over here trying to get some work done. 6-pack king. Anyways. Bless it. Chevy, that goes for you too. Keep the noise down, okay? Yeah, you smiley. Good thing riding shotgun with you, riding shotgun with me, Chevy, is I look over you and I always get smiles per gallon. Anyways, you see a purple tinge on that fitting there. Not bad. Right in there, see it? You're in there a little closer. Whoa, don't go out of focus. No, seriously. You can see it. There's a purple tinge there. Not bad, 1987 the current, so we're gonna go inside and take a 3/16 drill bit. Fitting is seized on the line. We want to reuse the fitting. I have new ones, but you know, I don't want it to be the shiniest part of it. Some old crow will swoop down there and try and steal it on me. But anywho, when you're reusing fittings, 3/16 drill bit. Drill her in there, just nice and gentle. Don't put any pressure on the drill either way. It'll pull itself right through there just like nothing. When you get her apart, best thing you can do is I have multiple sizes, but it's self-knoll chainsaw file. It's 3/16, and just put her on there and just, you know, the action that you use most times at night or whenever you want. But run her back forth, clean her all out. She should go right on the new line and just spin freely. So anywho, we're gonna go up in here and do the same thing we did on the other line. We're gonna pull some of the spring off here, unwind her back probably about 2.5, 3 inches. We're gonna get a new flare knot, bring our double lap flaring tool, get a union, another flare knot. I bent this out so I know it's got good integrity. We'll flare it here, like I said, put a union on it, and we'll bring the line, put her up over and around. in behind the shock tower here and the coil spring tower. We'll put her back in. Obviously we got her line here on the bleeder. We'll fill her up and do the deal. So we'll be back to you here in a couple. Thank you. Hey everybody, welcome back. We're in the shop here. We're gonna do a couple fittings. So anyways, I'd like to show you something I developed a while ago. You know, look at this. Adjustable workbench. Look at the vise over here. See that? You know, as one great Canadian would say, if women can't find you helpful, they should find you handsome. Well, the looks decent wagon definitely passed me by, so wife better find me handy. Don't worry, I don't have really a lot of problem in that department. But anyhow, there you go. Adjustable, right up here where we can look her right in the eye, you know, yada yada yada. Got her clamped on there with the old Mr. Breweries. So, anyhow, I'm gonna proceed. I'll make a couple fittings, so I'm gonna go over here and grab my flaring tool. Pipe cutter. Right. Back up the camera some. Okay, you gotta pause that. I'm gonna count. Well, as you can see, I didn't fare out too well in that exchange. Junior kicked the ever-loving, you know what, right out of me. Anyways, we gotta take a pause. I gotta regain some composure here. I'll be back. Anyways, we got our double flaring tool here. We got the Napa Ultra Pro 58021 flaring tool. Getting the trusty pipe cutter there that's supposed to come with her. So, anywho, and where? It's not a bad set. I will say one thing though. You know, I did find that the pins in these are a little soft by times, so, and the threads on this are, oh, what do we got here? Lightsaber. Why? My favorite. Go Geedy. Anyways, user review. Pins in here are a little soft, you know, of course, maybe I'm clearly not as fit as a fiddle, but strong as an ox and about as dumb as one. But anyways, I find the pins in here a little soft. You can get new ones. I cranked her up a little too tight, pulled the threads out of this, it's about to strip, so we improvise. Anywho, I want to take a minute here. You know, a lot of people, they think you need them fancy flaring tools. Well, there's two different flares today. One's a double lap, you know, or, you know, a standard flare, and then there's a bubble or a metric. I'm going to take and cut this and show you how to make different flares with the same tool. So you don't need to, you know, use or buy or, you know, go borrow two tools. You can just get the one and do both. As we cut that off, I'm gonna take your trusty little piece here, and I apologize that Braden's walking all over the place. You know, probably making you sick. He doesn't think about what, you know, he sees coming across TV, and next thing you know, you look at him, he looks like Sylvester hanging over the side of the boat. Anyways, we took the burr off there. Long story short, yes, the only time you can make a flare, perfect flare, is when you don't have a flare nut on there. Relax. We'll get your panties all in a knot. This is just for demonstration purposes only, so if you've never done a brake flare, we'll show you. If you don't care, well, now would be a good time to grab a beverage. Throw down a comment, like, subscribe, something, do something, even if it's wrong. Anywho. Braden, are you close enough? Like, Whoa! Don't go out of focus. Remember that joke I told you a while back about the folks and what the, two old ladies in the park? If not, why don't you go back about 50 some episodes and check her out. So anyways, we took our die. We set the line height so it was right at that level there. As you can see, yeah, that's perfect. Then you roll that up in there. Braden, again, can you back up some? Oh! Some days it wouldn't hurt to maybe have some degree or something like that. So anyways, we have our line set to the depth here. Okay, don't move too fast. It's got to stay in focus. So you want to set it up so the line's the same height as that step right there on your furrow. And you flip her over and put her in like that. Bring over your anvil there, Jim the Neihart. Want to wind her down here a little bit. Turn the tool so it's locked up against. And then you just take her, gracefully wind her down until she just bottoms. You don't need to, put all your might into her and grab a wrench, put her on the end, just come right onto her. So that's flattened down there now. Back this out. Now, what it done was it pressed it into this tapered seat right here and left it so it's tapered reverse the other way. So now what you want to do is you want to roll this edge down inside of itself so it makes the proper seat. So you bring it down once again. Put your tool up against the piece here so it holds it, and it in turn makes it square so it goes down with an equal amount of force straight down, and just wind her down. There you go. You folks just watched a double lap flare be made. See how the seat's reversed down in there? Now what I like to do is, I don't like to leave it humped up like a monkey doing a football, so I want to put her back on there. Just give her another little quick turn, a little tighter. Now, that right there rolled her all down in, collapsed her together so she looks just like that. There's dramatization, but that's what you did with your tubing. Anywho, all goes well. That flare nut that we didn't forget to put on the line right there, go down, look at that. Spins to no end. So there's a piece of line made up there. You want to use a flare, the same flare on each end. Flare nut, this is a union. A lot of you probably do this, but you go and get a compression union that you slide over, and there's you put a nut on here and you put a furl on, and then you use the piece and you tighten her together and you just come right on her, and then you slide it away, and there's a bronze piece left on the line here that's humped up and set to depth. That's okay if it's a derby car and you're going in. You only need brakes to get in the ring. You don't necessarily need them while you're in there because you're using the other cars as your brakes. Under no circumstances, do not use that type of flare on the road. They will absolutely not withstand the pressure. I don't care what anybody says. Be a thinker, not a stinker. Strive to arrive alive. So anyways, that was the double lap. So now to make the ISO or the bubble, here's what you do. You take your tool and you flip her upside down. Okay? So for the purpose of this, I cut off the old line. Nothing special. You want to run her up through here, and you want to bring her up almost to the second step or the top. Set your depth, tighten her up. Now we're in the midst of cleaning up shop here and rearranging, so we will be getting a steel table. Mount this thing back on. We used to have an old oil tank out there. We took it out of here because, you know, as life goes on, the shop gets a little smaller, so we was kind of renovating, doing the deal. So now, single flare time. Let's wind that down. You see it's starting to pod there a bit. Just keep going. Bear in mind, you should have already had your fitting on there in case you didn't. And I got my big old mouth in the way. But you wind her down, she's pocketed out. So you turn around, back her off. Like I said, there you go. Here's your double flare, or your ISO or bubble, metric flare, whatever you want to call it. And I did it exactly what I said. Watch this. I don't know if you can see that. I needed a new one anyways, but I snapped the pin off. Lo and behold, what's right there? The pin. So there you go, that's how you make a metric flare. One tool, don't be a fool. It's still in there, it won't even come out, so ideally, we're gonna cut this line apart and see if we can get her out. Don't need the line anyways, but I just wanted to show you what I was talking about. A lot of my videos are like watching paint dry, or Bob Ross, whatever the case may be. There's a little tree here and there and here and there. Gotta get something to push that down out of there with. It'll hardly fall out. Nope. Just open her up a bit. Take the burr off from the tube cutter. Well, maybe she might come out of there. There it is, folks. That could be the fluid stopper 300 right there. This piece off the die. I'm gonna take that back to Snap-on, tell them I still owe 51 weeks paying this off, and it's broke already. So, Greg, I will be asking for warranty on that. In hopes that you give me it. Probably not. Then I'll owe another 54 weeks on this. By the time I get it paid off, I'll be ready for retirement. Anyways, take care. We'll be back to you here in a little bit. Thanks for watching. So anyways, let me get you in here. We're gonna drill out that fitting right there. So, welcome back by popular demand, Mr. Johnny 5. So we're gonna take a minute, set her up here, do the deal. Alright, and get your drill out with your 3/16 drill bit here. We're gonna attempt to drill out the fitting. Like I told you before, you're gonna have to place a lot of pressure on it. It'll guide itself down. cutting oil on a drill bit here. And drill bit's about as sharp as the owner. Ah, there we go. Anywho, just seen that. And reuse this fitting. So we'll get it up here. Check that out. Drilled out, no problem. So if you ever want to make a kind of a drill you can use a couple hands with, you take your drill, do one of these, put her in the vise. I strongly recommend a cloth, but I've used this old DeWalt product for many, many years. Take an elastic and lock the trigger on. That's the third hand right there. Take your fitting, put her on the drill bit, run her back and forth a couple times, clean up the inside. Told you can use an old chainsaw file too, that works awesome. A lot easier, safer than what I'm doing here, but I never was really smart, so. In fact, to be honest with you, I'm the type of individual that just goes to show you, you don't need to be a genius to get a mechanical license. I got one. Became an automotive service technician there a few years ago. Actually, a couple decades ago. Probably forgotten more than most will know, but that's cool, I guess. I already went ahead and done one flare here. You know, time's ticking, so get the whole flare nut off here. Of course, we'll drop that one on the ground. Check that puppy out. That flare right there. That's a good flare. That's a brick flare right there. Woo! Double lap, standard flare, metric will be next to follow. I'm gonna get a line ready here and show you how to use this double flaring tool, as it's called, to your advantage. So, you know, on the newer cars, when you have to do that bubble flare, metric flare, ISO flare, whatever you want to call it, flare, here a flare, there a flare, everywhere a Ric flare. Again, I think I told you this in prior videos. Want to make sure you can blow air through this. You know, sometimes when this line's hanging in the shop there, the old mud wasp comes in and builds a nest in the line. You know, you end up getting, so you get this line all flared up doing the deal. Next thing you know, you take it out, introduce it to the vehicle, get her all nice and tightened up and ready to bleed. You just can't get the fluid through it. Well, I got warned by that once many years ago. You know, so I always make sure you can blow through the line before you start and after you finish your flares, because you never know. I'll tell you right now, most of you probably have done it. That little die there and this little pin right here, that thing can break off. I'll see if I can get her in the light so you can see it. That little pin right there, that thing will break off and be in the line. You don't realize it. Something like that could be the straw that breaks camel's back. So, anywho, I'm gonna get Junior out here and see if he can get you in there a little closer so we can show you how to do a flare. So 1 second, be right back. So anyways, your line trimmed off there. We got the steel off right there. So we're gonna put a fitting on, proceed to cut that off with a tube cutter. and get her out of there. Put her back in behind there and run her through there. Put her back in that little white grommet there. We'll flip that over and lock her in. She goes behind the strut housing, comes around there. We'll put the flex line back in, put the retainer on her, and get her all done up. And we'll come around here to the bleeder that her flex hose is sticking over. Keep the dirt out of it. And we'll bleed her out, and with any luck, bam! We'll have brakes. So anyways, there's our flare knot on there. Getting that set up so we can do the deal. I went in the old toolbox there, and lo and behold, what did I find? Another die. Won't have to see old Snap-on. You know, Strap-on Tools Canada, so have to pay another 54 weeks, you know, for another one. I got one here. Now for the demonstration of the other one, the reason why it broke was because there was too much out of here. So it had to collapse, and when it did, it collapsed in on her and broke her off. But anyways, we'll get back to you here. We're gonna flare her up and see if we can proceed. So anyways. Hi, Toots. Just getting her set up here. Wonder what wifey's doing right now. Oh, I know. She's on her second day of her new job. She's working for a company there that shall remain nameless to protect her. None of your business, actually. No, just kidding. She landed a job, so she's working. She's got to work every other weekend, so she's off right now doing her deal, taking care of her clients and whatnot. So we thought we'd come up here and, you know, work away on this, maybe surprise her by getting some brakes on her so we can whoa as we go. Pretty soon we'll be done, and Mom will be done, and we'll get on to our second job of the day, because as you know, I work as a mechanic throughout the day. Well, I deliver at night, wife and I, kids, so Chevy. I apologize if you hear me breathing. Braden's got the phone drove right in my temple here. So, must be nice hearing. I like having a conversation on the phone with my mother. She has the phone right in her tonsils. Love you, Mom, but you know what it's like. Why? Is somebody getting a little hungry? Hmm? Chevy just recently celebrated her 5th month birthday. So she's coming up there. And pretty soon she'll be applying for Social Security and, you know, looking for probably somebody sponsor her some food, because, you know, my Jesus, she's not getting any smaller. She's actually growing like a bad weed, so. But I guess that's what happens when you feed them. Not like one of them kids over there across the pond that don't have anything. We try to send to them when we can, so. But old Chevy there, she eats just like a horse. So anywho, there we go. We got a flare going on here. So, wipe down the tools. Put her back in the box there. Everybody, like, you know, should always have a clean tool to start the day with. By the way, I wanted to say to y'all, don't forget something. Tonight when you leave, You know, and you go home, shut your ratchets off. Always turn them the opposition. You don't want to come in tomorrow to a dead battery. So, put them in the opposition. Good night. We'll see you in the morning. Love you, bye. Gotta take care of them too, because if not, old Snap-on will be here and you'll have to pay about 274 equal payments of about $49.95. And, you know, had to have a new one. That ratchet right there that I just showed you probably cost me about 2 arms and a leg. Good thing we didn't have Chevy at that time, because she'd been going without food. Oh, probably not. But I'd figure I had to work a third job, pay for it. Right, Touch? Look at her over there. Mikey, that's why she's whining. You're looking at her. Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks, buddy.
Right here, you still recording?
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all want to use different names to protect your identity. Like, mine, for instance, would be Sean.
Are there any updates on the Hemorrhoid?
Is there any updates on the Hemorrhoid? Yeah, it's a Dodge. It's still starting in the rain. Must have some kind of chef heart behind it. Because, you know, the only problem with a Dodge, you walk by her during the summer with an ice cream, good luck that thing starting. I will say, though, the old Dodge come a long way, though, because, you know, back in the yesteryear, you either had to have a ballast resistor with you or steal one of the wife's bobby pins to, you know, get that son of a perch of a thing started. You go out and, you know, you could drive it to a friend's house, have a couple cold pops, and, you know, work on a race car, derby car, your car, his car, anybody's car. Next thing you know, you go out there, go start her up, go home, see the wife, hopefully have some supper and get ready for the work day, the previous day, whichever you did. Good luck with that thing starting up, because no, you go out there and she just cranked. Just
Sounds like a Honda.
really?
Yep.
Why'd you have to go there? There's nothing wrong with that car. Little guy car. He's talking about my old Honda Civic there, sitting over there at the commission right now. It's got a chewed off wire in the system somewhere. Got to find that so we can get her charging again, because the old alternator's not working no hell right at the moment. So anywho, Junior decided to kick me in the nuts. Mikey, do you want to go grab me a 3/8 wrench, please? I forgot to bring one out.
Don't worry, buddy. I got you.
Oh yeah, buddy, now, eh? Buddy, now.
What are you doing there?
What am I doing?
Yes.
Well, I'm trying to hold this knot. Not my knots. This knot. And tightening this one. So it seals. Oh, he gives me a 3/8 wrench here. Mikey, what in the hell am I supposed to do with that wrench? Like, you know, oh my God. Wrench is like 1.5 inches long.
Yes, for 3/8.
Okay, yeah, but we're not going to get a lot of torque out of that thing, are we?
No.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll hold her here and feed her the onions. Now, what's that ratchet? What do you think of that ratchet, folks? That's a mid-grade ratchet. That's about 12 inches long. I did 12 inches one night. Only took me 11.5 times to do it. But anywho. So we're gonna run this line through here. See if we can get her done up. Look at that. Look at the split liquor. Proper bend on her here.
Hey, look at Trevor's soda.
Hi, Touch.
Good. I'm not sure if you realize this, you crazy loon. You got your soother in upside down. Spit out. Good girl. You crazy baby. Just crazy, baby. Thought all my kids were growing up, maybe, you know, acting more like their mother every day, but no. There's Chevy, granddaughter, come along. I don't think she takes after her mother or Nana. That intrigues me. No, not at all.
Not much.
Shut up. Comments from the Partridge family. Do 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 do.
Do you want the radio on in your truck?
No, we can't have the radio on in the truck, although it's Sunday in the country. I'd love to listen to it, but there's insensitive people out there that have nothing better to do with their day but complain about somebody trying to pirate or copyright music when a feller is just trying to listen to the good old country music on a Sunday morning. But anywho, later on we'll fire up the old Hemiroid and we'll give her. Got the windows rolled down and the radio turned up. Isn't that how the song goes? Cruising down these back roads on the outskirts of town. There's a couple parodies there. I can feel the wind blowing and whatnot. Where's me channel on or side cutters? Well, sorry guys. The upholstery tool coming in handy. Shabby, my job. What's up, Touchy Bear? Oh my God, she's eating her dinosaur. Hey, Wilma Flintstone. Don't be eating Dino, right? I'm not sure if you realize this, but if we were doing the deal here, I'd call you Pebbles. But yabba dabba doo time. Dabba doo time. That kind of reminds me of a little song. Fuck nuts, come to fuck nuts. We're just east of CFB. From the town of Kingston, we'll show you how to save some money. Someday, when you get it right. No. You can see the rest there. Actually, if you want to comment or inbox me and you like my work and you want me to do something for you, give me a holler and I'll let you know the actual shop name if you haven't already seen it appear in some of the videos there along the way. I'd like to be able to meet and greet some of you. You know, others you probably will regret the day you met me. Pretty sure my wife does.
I don't know.
Anyhow, what's that?
I don't know.
So anyway, we're about to conclude this line setup. All right, so Junior, give me the camera there. Bring her in here. There's the line back in the flare tubing. There's our flare we made into the new line, or sorry, into the existing line. Top cut and rebuilt, run through there. See if we can get her in here. Well, almost. But anyways, double flares are done. We're gonna go ahead and fill up the master Griswold there and open the bleeder, and we'll got to get her container out here and we'll cut some of the fluid there and see if we can't bleed her out. So I don't think I don't imagine you want to see a gravity bleed. So anyhow, we'll get the bleeder open here, fill her up, and we'll get her dripping out here, and when we get her back we'll show you how to bleed the brakes. All right, we'll be back to you. So anyways, we got our gravity bleeding. Spin around here and see the fluid coming out of her, running down there into her container. So we're gonna close off the bleeder. Get Junior in there. We're gonna attempt to bleed her out. So hold on, we'll be right back. There we go. All right, pumper 3.
1, 2, 3, hold it.
Pumper 3.
1, 2, 3, hold it.
Lots of fluid, no air. One more time.
1, 2, 3, hold it.
Little bit of air that time. One more.
1, 2, 3, hold it.
One more time.
1, 2, hold it.
Good. All right, there you go. That's how you bleed the brakes. So we're gonna take a brief pause for the cause, clean everything up, and throw the wheel on, and hopefully, we'll see if she'll fire up. All right, talk soon. So now that we got her all cleaned up here, I'm gonna go ahead and put the wheel back on. Bear in mind, all you RVers out there, these wheels have 2 alignment pins. You can do her up. Now,
It's on your gun.
oh, actually it isn't. See? I need 1 inch and 1/16. Now, I want you to come in and do a shot of this. This was the original 1987 look that we had coming off the line. But I think, fast forward all these years later, ouch, there's a rock that drove me right in the kneecap. All these years later, people talk about stands, that kind of stuff. So I think that, we might modernize her a bit. Get getting the heat of passion one night with the wife. I think this is the way we're gonna run her from here on out. Gonna give her some stance. That's right, keeping it real. Check that puppy out right there. That's the 327 way. Keeping it real. We get both these on here. She might turn pretty damn good. You imagine the stability we have going down the road. Of course, we might have to put a wide body kit on her there. I imagine we could get a blue 45-gallon drum and bring her out there. So, she's right on that tread right there, Because ministry don't want them, nor do the police want them sticking out any more than an inch. So
The whole tire's
We won't-
past your bumper.
we won't worry about the ball joints or the kingpins or the tie rod ends. We'll just do this because, them kids are cool, and once we burn her off right here, right to the wires, we'll just take it to a shop that really doesn't have any ethics. We'll just get them to flip the tire around on the rim. We'll burn this side off. Our tire tread will look pylon like that, but anyways, no, probably not. I need to get this off here. Put her back on right. Anywho, folks, taught you how to make flares, taught you, how to get some flare, how to stir some ire, how to, in this case, screw up the geometrics of your front end. we're gonna put the wheel on right here. Well, we're gonna take a brief pause for the cause, and we're gonna see if we can get the other wheel off. Maybe, just maybe, the vehicle likes this. Well, we can bleed out all 4 brakes on the 6 wheels. Anyhow, we'll cut you loose, cut you later. Take care. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.